Justin, here's a question for you. The U.S. Federal Department of Justice recently raided the Gibson factory in Memphis and Nashville for the second time. Your thoughts when you heard this news?
Well, does everybody know what they raided it for? You do. Does that mean everybody, or some people? No, I don't. No. Okay, so the Fed sent armed guards twice into the Gibson factories in Memphis and Nashville. It's quite an amusing photograph of this big African American lady sitting at a desk, you know, and these guys, whatever they are, AK-47s with flak jackets, and the whole thing in blue with Fed written on them, you know, it's just insane. And it's to do with the import of wood. Now, it's not that they can't, that they're allowed Brazilian rosewood and certain pieces of ebony, but there's an issue about the finishing of them, and the ebony, the little pieces of ebony that come from India were, if they're finished in India, they're cut and sized in India, but if they're finished, polished in India, then they're legal, and if they're not, well, they don't, my guitar I think is ebony, so that's totally a riot now, you know, but it's a Brazilian rosewood as well, it's something about the finishing. And so it's complicated, isn't it? So it's to do with the import of wood. Now, I'm on the mailing list for some group of guitar players. You know, there's a worldwide thing of bloody guitar players, of course, they're all nerds. But they sent round, at the same time, the import and laws into America of flora and fauna. And every time you bring a guitar in, and what you need for flora and fauna, is wood flora or is it fauna? Anyway, it doesn't matter, it's one of the two. So they sent it around, magnified this clause. This is what you've got to have: documentation, certification, and date and approval for every piece of wood on every guitar. Which of course is insane, you cannot possibly do it. About my 335 is from 1963. Where are you going to get that stuff? So it is all a bit mad, really, but let's hope it resolves itself. And I think I can't understand what on earth they were doing, just talking about this. Gibson's a small factory. Why didn't they do the whole of the, I don't know, it's just one of those misguided piece of administrative things that's just gone a bit haywire. But it could be very, very dangerous for us. And I'm quite glad that I'm going to Canada with my guitar, and my guitar is going to Australia, and then it's coming straight back to me in Europe, and I think it'll stay there until this whole thing is sorted out. So that's what it's about wood. It's very shocking. It just needs somebody, maybe like Slash or Jimmy Page, to have their guitar seized when their guitar comes back into America after a tour, to give it that kind of profile and for people to see that it's just complete madness. Can I just say one more thing about it? I know I'm rambling on about this, but the fact that Brazilian rosewood is not really endangered, but it was. But it's a very beautiful wood, and certain kinds of South American maple too are very, very beautiful. And they've always come into this country because America's got the greatest guitar craftsmen. There's no doubt about that. This is where that wood should be modeled. Now, if they don't import Brazilian rosewood, then the Brazilian rosewood forest will disappear. It's exactly the opposite of what they want. While Brazilian rosewood has value for guitars and for beautiful instruments and for furniture, there'll be a Brazilian rosewood forest. If you can't have it, then they're just gonna, those Brazilians are solid, they're just gonna cut the forest down and make oil wells or something. They're not gonna do something that's of no value. So the logic is a little bit hard to grasp, you know.